to the legends, those who paved our way. In every single chapter, we're here to stay, breaking down plays.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Chasing the Highlights podcast, evening edition. My name is Lonnie Washington. I'm here with Tony Robinson. I'm in Arizona. He's in Texas. Tony, another week, man. How's it going?
Good, man. Just getting back in the swing of things with this school, kids back in school and practicing in the evenings. I'm like drained already. So
yeah, school started now, obviously in a week now in Arizona. I know you just started there and with your two sons and stuff and all the practices and stuff that you got to go through. And, when you got boys and they're active, man, it's tough. I've got a high school senior girl, so my struggles are a little bit different than yours, but other than that, we are good. Especially they driving now, they got their own cars. You kind of struggle with trying to say, hey, this is the parameters, these are the rules and stuff, because it's kind of rough out here, with especially with girls. So I will say that. So everybody, welcome tonight to the podcast. We want to start talking a little bit about the preseason and some of the things that we saw last week. It was really good to see them out there finally hitting and getting some live bullets out there and seeing kind of like how your team is kind of developing during these preseason games. With the limited amount of preseason work that our starters get, it's one of those things to where it's kind of hard to really gauge what's going on. But obviously, one of the biggest things, during the off season is just the Cleveland Browns, what they're going to do. New coach Todd Monken, he has a big challenge ahead of him where he's trying to find out who's going to be a starting quarterback. None of the guys that he were really able to pick for him, but he kind of inherited Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson, of course. And they get hammered, 34-10 in last week's preseason game. And I know I don't want to make too much of it, but when you kind of get beat, you physically get beat up by the defense of the Bears, who I think has got a really good defense, because from the starters all the way down to the last guy on that defense that's trying to make the team, they got the Browns pretty good. And so with that being said, what did you overall, Tony, see in this game that, kind of like your first impressions of the game, just overall, just from a team perspective, what did you see and what you think that you guys need to clean up?
Well, what I liked that I saw was the young rookies we got at the wide receiver spot. They're dynamic, Concepcion and the big guy. I forgot his name. I'm having a brain fart right now. But yeah, our receiving core looks really good. Fannin looks good, even though he dropped the pass. But that's either here. I mean, we with the guys that we have, the two young guys kind of make the offense look way better than they did last year. With catching the ball, running the ball from the backfield, different gadget plays and stuff like that with Concepcion and stuff like that. He scored a touchdown and everything. The only thing that bothered me, because it's just the first game of the preseason, is just the offensive line depth. The depth there is like really, it's bothering me a little bit, because it's the same thing we've been going through pretty much the last 10 years, pretty much dealing with besides the quarterback spot.
Right.
If you can't keep the quarterback upright, or the quarterback doesn't have time to feel comfortable in the pocket, it's like you can't be handing the ball off. I sent you a message. I texted you a message. The guy was like, I think it was Shedeur. He was going to hand the ball off. The guy was already in the backfield. So it's like you can't.
Yeah.
You can't, like, I think the quarterbacks have PTSD because they're too busy seeing too many guys in the backfield too fast.
Yeah.
But one bright spot that I saw like a breakdown of like Fano, how he played. Fano looked pretty good. He was holding his own on the blind side. Watson had plenty of time from the left side when Fano was in there and everything. So, or Fano, I think it's Fano, but he looked pretty solid from the offensive line standpoint. So we'll see. There's spots where Watson was kind of missing open throws and stuff like that. He had like 4 guys open at one time, and he ran the ball forward for 1 yard and got tackled. And we're like, what are you doing? He had like 4 guys wide open, but he didn't see him for some reason. Mm-hmm. So, but everybody talks about Watson being the guy. He might be the guy because of the money he's making and stuff like that. And I mean, and at the end of the day, I'm here for it, because I mean, we have to see if I think they have to justify. The Browns organization have to justify why they're going to go to Shador. That's what I think is going on. So they may have to play the guy that's making $40 million a year, just to save face, because we have to see that he's not the guy or he is the guy, for this year or whatever. But before they put Shador in, they have to see if he's not the guy. That's pretty much what's going on, I believe. So what do you think from what did you see?
Well, I mean, overall, I saw the game from a different lens. I think when the game started, I was on the road, so I turned on satellite radio and had a different perspective than the actual broadcast initially. And I was listening to the Cleveland Browns broadcast on satellite radio, and they gave a totally different perspective than I think what the TV was given. My first thing I did, I text you, and I was like, and you didn't know what the heck I was talking about because I think you forgot the game was on.
I was getting haircuts from my boys. So
yeah, but my was because I saw Watson start doing a little work. One of the things is I saw is that he overcame a first down and 25. He got a first down and kept the drive alive and got a field goal. And I saw that he was poised. He was throwing pinpoint passes. At one time, he was like 9 or 10, 100 yards passing. And a couple of things jumped out at me. KC Concepcion, this guy he's everything is advertised. The kickoff, his 30-yard kickoff return or punt return, excuse me. And then he had like caught a few passes, had an end around for a touchdown. Boston, big receiver, you got from Washington. Good pickup. You got Isaiah Bond, Jerry Jeudy caught a pass in there. I think Watson, he was like, batting 1,000 until until he got a drop, from the tight end. But overall, I thought Watson started out hot. He was under some pressure early, but he stayed in there. But I noticed every time he released the ball and was throwing those darts early on, he was getting hit. Every time he was getting hit, so guys was kind of right in his face, coming from all over the place. And so I thought in the running game, you guys got totally dominated. You guys was basically pass blocking when y'all should have been run blocking, and your running backs really couldn't do anything. I mean, Sampson kind of jumped off the page at me just the way he's out there running in a whole different speed that everybody else is running. I know receiver. You probably saw it too.
He's another receiver.
Yeah, and so I think that's what I initially saw. Just a delay of games. Watson had an early timeout. Then he had a delay of game at one point. But what I really liked is for a guy that you haven't seen in 2 years play, knocking the rust off, getting a new offense, he was kind of leaning on just his overall experience. And you saw that kind of come through on those first couple of drives where he kind of maintained the drive, converted some third downs, quarterback sneaks, those types of plays that you expect a veteran to do. Yeah, did he miss some stuff? Yeah, he could have went deep. He's a little more conservative than I think that Shador is, because Shador, he's looking deep first. He's not looking mid-range or short. He's looking for that deep, that explosive play first. And I think that Watson would eventually get there. But if you want a game manager, somebody that's going to come in with experience, and I think I kind of told you, if Watson is 75 or 80% of the guy that he used to be, because we know that he's not the same guy he was in Houston, but if he's 75 to 80% of what he used to be, he's still pretty darn good. And there's not a lot of guys that even a 75% what he used to be that would be better than Watson in today's NFL. So overall, I think that your line is going to be a disaster. If they don't fix this line, situation is going to be bad all the way around. You guys had a couple of picks, of course, early picks this year to fix your line. I think your third round draft pick, I think he got a little nicked up in the last game, so he went out. You hated to see that. But I just think that not only that, I think the Chicago defense was just so good. I think that they were just coming from all the angles and stuff like that. But I really think that this is now, from what I saw, and you saw two different perspectives. You saw Watson with the first and second team. You saw Shador with maybe the second and third team. But he was still playing against second and third team people too on the other side. But what I saw, I think this job is Watson's to lose at this point. Other than I think it's Watson's job to lose, and I'm going to stick with that because I think he's the veteran. He's picked up this offense a little faster than Shador. I think that he's going to make solid decisions And then you're going to need a guy early on that's going to come in and just run the offense, move the ball down the field. When chaos starts, he's got the experience and the cool head to be able to make some plays for you guys. And I think you guys might need that to start off the season. Going to Jacksonville first game, going to be tough.
Cool head. I don't know. The last few years, he hasn't shown me he had a cool head. To me, he hasn't done anything.
You haven't seen him in 2 years. The guy, he's gotten married since then. He's gotten married since then. He's humbled himself since then. There's a lot that's going on in that brain of his that I think that he had to work out, that he wasn't ready for when he first came to you guys. I think he might have worked some of those things out now, almost 4 years later. So we'll see.
I mean, hopefully he did. I mean, but I just know that being 2 years removed from, seeing any action like this, like, we'll see. I mean, I hope the best for him. As long as I told you, I'll root for the QB1 that we have. Like, if he's the QB1 starting off until he proves me wrong. But now, I told you, when he first came over, I was all for him. But once you get on my bad side, I can't go back now. So we'll see. Maybe he proved me wrong, and maybe he can play the whole season and get us a Super Bowl.
Well, like I said, I just made a point. Do you think this is Watson's job to lose? Do you really think that Watson could win this job?
I mean, what's going on out there? I mean, with the Browns organization talking about, like, everything that's going on, I feel like he's going to have to be the starter, even though I want Shador. I mean, who am I? I'm not in ownership or, in the front office or anything like that, but I know what I want. But he's the future. Shador to me is the future, because when you got this new stadium being built, I feel like Shador is going to put cheeks in the seats. That's what it comes down to me when it comes to an organization standpoint. But because I think the ownership don't want to look stupid by giving it, we still have this, like, elephant in the room with Deshaun Watson's $40 million contract, the big time contract and all that stuff, guarantee, all that stuff. We know what that is. But I feel like they still want to try to get that value back and play him, start him and see how he plays with this new coach, new offensive scheme. We got Stefanski out the door and everything like that. So I feel like that's what they're doing. We talked about this, we talked about it. So it's like, I think that's what's going on. But I want Shador at the end of the day. But.
So, you're going to get your wish. Sanders will start against the Buffalo Bills this week. And I think it's going to be a really good test for him. It's a home game, right? I think they might have wanted Shador to actually play at home. He is the fan favorite, really, all the jersey sales and everything like that. And the Bills is going to be a tough task for him. You got a team that's always a perennial playoff team. They got new coach over there. That is a defensive coordinator coach. We're gonna see what he can do against this defense early on, and I think after this game we'll have a clear picture of who probably will be starting for the Cleveland Browns initially for the early part of the season, because I don't think the Bills are going to make it easy on them. They're gonna have an extra little itch because of Shador Sanders on the other side. All right. Not these guys are trying to make the team too. They're going to have a little extra itch. And then the second game is usually when all the starters play, because they don't play the third preseason game. So this is kind of like their dress rehearsal for the season. And so he's going to get a real big punch from that new defense over there with the Buffalo Bills. And I'm not quite sure how it's going to pan out if they don't clean up what I saw against the Bears, then Shador is going to be running for his life there against the Bills coming up this weekend. I hope not, but I hope they clean it up. But I think that I'm excited to see what he's going to do. I mean, because really, I think that he's trailing Deshaun right now, because Deshaun actually did very well the early part of that game when he was in the game. So I think now he has to come out and kind of like, he can't be overthrowing people with the pick, right? Can't do that. And he can't be, he can't be dinking and dunking and not moving the chains and all that stuff either.
Well, that's Watson. Watson was dinking and dunking. He ain't throw nothing past, was it 4 yards or whatever it was? So that's not Shador.
Watson played within Monken's system and even hitting the third and fourth receiver. So we'll see.
Monkins is not the same as Stefanski. It's not the dink and dunk. So he has some deep balls in there too. He just missed them. He missed a whole bunch of them. And they did they show the videos where he missed. So they talk about his stat
Well, he
line.
didn't miss a lot. He didn't
missed
miss a lot.
He missed
Whatever
in
he
one play.
missed,
He missed
but
4 in one play.
whatever he missed, he made a completion. So it wasn't an incomplete. He might have missed the actual, maybe a couple guys wide open, but he was still making the passes and making the move and the change on first down.
Yeah. I mean, he had a good stat line. If you're looking at the stats, if you're only looking at the stats, he had a good
Well,
game.
11 to 15, 126 yards. I mean, that's
those times he took only like 1 or 2 yards rushing when he had somebody open because he scrambled. Those are the times we're talking about.
Nobody else, not even Shedeur, nobody else did anything in that game but Watson. The 10 points that were scored in that game from the Browns, Watson was the quarterback in that situation. He wanted to move the ball down the field, and he ended with scoring drives because at the end of the day, it's all about points, right? So he put those 10 points on the board. Watson got those points. Gabriel didn't get no points. Sanders didn't get no points, not even a field goal. So this is what I'm saying. He put points on the board, and as a veteran quarterback, that's what you expect for him to do. Come in, not make a lot of mistakes, and put points on the board. Even though he had some bad things happen to him, he overcame those and put points on the board. You guys didn't score anything when Watson went out the game. So that shows me that Watson was able to get through adversity and to put points on the board for the team.
Yeah. He had the starting offensive line. So when that happened, so we'll see what happens in his next game when Shedeur has him. So, but Watson did. Don't. I mean, I'm not. I saw Watson. I replayed the game and I watched it, and he looked like the old Watson a little bit in some instances. Besides him not running the ball like he used to, but he did do some good things that I saw. I'm not taking everything away from him, but.
I mean, the guy's coming off a 2 torn Achilles and they played in 2 years. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, what more do you want from this guy? He got a young Shedeur Sanders that ain't had no injury, ain't had no trauma in his life or anything going on, and he still couldn't score.
But your boy Dylan Gabriel, we're gonna get on him though.
Well, but I like the only thing I did like is that Monken got into a press conference and talked highly about the adversity that Watson had and all the stuff that he's overcome and things of that nature, the journey, and he respects him for coming in and putting in work even after all that he's been through. So I do like that Monken did acknowledge that, right? Yeah. But this is still a quarterback battle from the outside. But I think the decision is already made on the inside. It's just not being public yet.
There's a little controversy for Monken was trying to talk to Watson and he walked right past him and was like, pretty much get out of here. Watson walked past him, didn't even acknowledge that he was talking to him. So
maybe he was zoned in. I don't know. I don't think it was something for him.
I think he missed the pass and Monken was telling him like, dude, that's a simple pass. What are you doing? I think it was probably the play when he ran for it and got 1 yard. And he's like, what are you doing? They got four guys wide open.
Yeah, but I think he was pulling his hair out even more when Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders got in the game, because those were not good. Those were not good. All right, we're gonna have to move on.
I'm not drinking alcohol. This is not alcoholic beer, just so you know.
Athletic light, yeah. So we're gonna have to move on a little bit from that. We'll definitely, there's gonna be probably a story all year when we talk about these quarterbacks, but we're gonna move on here. So let's talk about a little bit about Jackson Dart taking the big hit against the Vikings. You get the good, the bad, the ugly with Jackson Dart. I mean, he'll go out there and because he had the one pass where he was going out to his left and threw the ball against his body for a touchdown, and then you see somebody just not even block. And then he gets leveled and then he goes underneath the tent and then people are going crazy and saying, well, I think they're just doing it to him because, they know his history. No, man, when you take a hit like that and you stay down for a prolonged period of time, you don't pop back up. Yeah, the spotters are going to be like, yo, he just took a hit. He didn't pop right back up. So let's get him over to the sideline to make sure that he's okay. Yeah, understanding that his history too, and I think that they're probably going to talk to the league about being a little bit cautious about not trying to get him in a tent all the time because it looks bad for him. But the league is probably going to say to the Giants and Harbaugh, protect your guy, if you protect your guy, we won't have to have him in the tent, because it's our job to make sure that these players are protected. And so if you protect your guy, you don't have to worry about us calling him a tent. But if you don't protect him and he ends up on the ground and take hits like that, we're gonna call him in the tent all the time to make sure that he's okay.
Well, it takes your running back protecting him. I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail, but it takes that running back to protect him, because the running back just did an ole. He's like, I didn't see who he blocked. Did he block air?
Well, he went right. And then, first of all, you saw the blitz coming. I think this is some payback for some political stuff, right? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I said this. Remember, I told you this a while back when this political stuff started happening. Ben Jackson Dart and the political stuff got into it. We don't really get into political stuff, but I kind of said that Jackson Dart got some free runners coming his way because of the way he handled some political stuff, during the offseason, that rubbed some people the wrong way. This here was Tracy knows. Tracy's been around. He knows that he cannot. He saw the blitz coming, and he knows daggone well he cannot go to the outside and then make like the guy went right past him. So this was some crazy stuff. I'm not trying to put nothing out there, but I just said this I said this like back when the political stuff came up with Jackson Dart. But he got some free runners coming his way, and this was the first of many probably coming his way. If you don't have the locker room, there's no reason why that should have even happened. And I don't think Tracy actually got back in the game after he let that.
He probably saw it. They probably saw it on the replay, and they probably watched it multiple times. Like, okay, this dude just didn't block, because he came through like free. It was like a free run to like full speed right into this rib cage. Like, come on, man, how do you miss the block like that? Like, there's no way. Nobody misses a block like that.
Nobody misses that block.
You can, at least put a hand just to throw him off his, I don't know.
And
we know football. We know football.
He's out there specifically to make that block. Yeah. Hey, safety comes down and tries to rush off the edge. You have to chip that guy. But he made a half step to the right, and then made like he would. Oh man, the guy just oh no, he didn't. I don't even know if he even screamed at Jackson Dart. I don't even think he said I don't think he even gave him a heads up, because Jackson Dart just was like clueless. He wasn't even looking that way.
We should have had that on. We should have played that on here just to see it again.
We should have. Yeah, we should have. It was bad. So Jackson Dart, just like Jaden Daniels and all these quarterbacks that like to run and get out of the pocket and play, he needs to make sure that he protects himself this year. A lot of injury. I know Scatterboo is back. Scatterboo has to, he's going to be the battering ram. Let Scatterboo and your running backs be the battering ram for you. But you doing stuff, I mean, it's hard to tell a quarterback that that's part of his game not to do it, because that's his first instinct. But Jackson Dart needs to make sure that he's going down, he's sliding, and then he's getting out of bounds. I mean, literally beelining out of bounds so he don't take a hit like he did against the Patriots last year.
So what happened with because I saw some video. I saw some like 5 routes that OBJ ran. He was wide open. They're not throwing him the ball. He was like cooking people. They're saying he's washed, but he was cooking people and wide open, like on a street, down the field, wide open, just like he's just sitting there like this. Yeah, I'm wondering what's going on there, because do they not want to take away from neighbors, and because OBJ's back? It seems kind of fishy there.
Well, he's looked good in camp. I mean, they brought him in for a tryout. You got a veteran there. He still looks good. Still got that speed. And one thing that he's going to be able to do is get open, because he still has that twitch. He still has that quickness, even though he might have lost some downfield speed. Veteran guys still know how to set up their routes. And even if they just not looking his way. But if he makes this team, I'm not sure if he makes this team.
That's probably why
he's on the bubble. He's on the bubble, so I'm not sure if he makes this team. But everybody, I think, would like to see him back on the team. And we'll see how it happens. But the Giants defense, I think, is going to be great this year. It's the offense that you kind of worry about, and see if you can keep these guys healthy. Jackson Dart, I'm not sure Neighbors. I know he's been taking some reps in practice. He's ready to get back on the field. And I think the key to them early on is getting Neighbors back and how well he looks. And if he looks really good early on, he's just another big weapon that you can use because he was cooking last year before the injury. I mean, he was having a really good season, and then to lose him really was a big deal. And so I think hopefully he can come back and be good. So now that we're talking about injuries,
I had him in fantasy, so I know it was heartbreaking.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, there's no coming back from it. So, we're talking about injuries, and Jordan Tyson with the Saints receiver, Jordan Tyson from Arizona State, an 8th overall first-round pick, will miss 2 months after a right hamstring injury. And one of the reasons why I'm bringing up this is because, obviously I live in Arizona, so I hear all the stuff that comes out of Arizona State. And one of his biggest knocks was, can he stay healthy with all the injuries that he's had? Year after year, a lot of teams were shied away from him because of his injuries. And I think I was having a conversation with you back in March about, hey, the Browns should take Jordan Tyson. And you said, nah, man, not with all those injuries. And so that's why I kind of bring it up, because I remember specifically having this conversation with you about Jordan Tyson and his injuries. And the season haven't even started yet. He's going to miss 2 months. I mean, so it must be a significant hamstring injury. And they're battling on trying to see if they want to put him on. He's going to make the team, but put him on IR to miss the first 4 games at least. But this is a real big blow because he was having a really good camp. I think people were ready for Tyler Shuck to have him and Olave side by side. Olave, who got that big contract doing, just a few weeks ago, about a month ago. So to see them both together and have them as weapons healthy, because Olave has had some issues too with staying healthy, although he stayed healthy pretty much last season. They always stay healthy in the contract year. But to see those two on the field and to have some weapons that they have, and then the Saints defense is coming along too on the other side of the ball, and having him, they're going to miss him because of the things that they believe that he has been doing in camp. So it's a big loss.
Yeah, they were, showing all the highlights and stuff like that before the draft, and like, oh, the Browns should take Tyson. Like, people, beat writers in Cleveland, was saying the same thing, and I was like, I don't know, because when you're a Browns organization that's always been in the dumps and like always looking for players to bolster the team and stuff like that, we don't need no injuries. Like, when you're trying to build injuries can happen at any time. Don't get me wrong,
right.
But when you have somebody that's a proven, like, medical case, like, coming out of, well, I don't want to talk too bad about him because he could, like you say, he could have redemption. He's a rookie and stuff like that. He can get all that stuff. But when you're trying to build a team, especially with the Cleveland Browns, I can't, like, what we got is what we got, and I'm happy for it. And I called out Boston when I actually called that out too, that we can get a big receiver. I needed a big receiver. I wanted Tate too. I wanted Tate, but the Titans took him first, and I was like,
he went higher than I think that a lot of people expected.
Yeah, if we could have got Tate in Boston. I mean, I like Concepcion, don't get me wrong, but that was my thought process, to get Tate in Boston. But anyway, we got what we got. So
yeah, it is what it is, right? At this point, it is what it is. So good luck to Jordan Tyson and the Saints.
Yeah.
Hopefully he comes back, in October or something like that, and just shows up and show out, of what everybody's saying about him right now, of just being injury prone. So we're going to switch over to the Commanders. The Washington Commanders today had some injuries that we put Jerome Ford, ex-Browns running back, on IR today after injuring his hamstring. He'll miss significant time. And to me, when I saw him kind of limping after a run, and I said to myself, why is he limping? And he came off the field and nobody saw him again. And I says, oh boy. And, Washington thought that they had a good kickoff returner, a third down back, somebody that was fully healthy. He's had a lot of lower leg injuries, ankle injuries, hammies before with the Browns. He had a shoulder injury last year, that AC joint injury last year that, landed him on IR, and the Browns, cut ties with him. So we thought we had a guy that's healthy, but it's fine because, it's happened early. We got some young guys out there that's vying for a running back spot. that we need to keep on our team. Some unrestricted free agents that we need to keep on our team that sold out. So we need those players. But yeah, hamstring injury, and they say they're going to put you on IR. That means that it's damn near off the bone. And it's probably bad. And so they usually don't, because his time with Washington is over, because if they don't put him on the 53-man roster, which they won't, he cannot play with Washington this year. Washington can put an injury designation with him and a buyout, really, and then he can play for another team late in the season whenever he gets healthy. But we'll see what happens. I'm not sure if the Commanders are at that point right now. And other news also with the Commanders, I know you want to finish up on your guy, Ford. You want to say something about him?
I didn't say something about him. He ain't no
so Commanders. So also big other news. Commanders Marcus Mariota suffered a sprained MCL against the Miami Dolphins. He's scheduled to miss about 3 to 4 weeks, but should be ready to back up Jaden Daniels on week 1 against the Eagles, which is a big significant thing because the Commanders Commanders have Hartman on the team. I thought they should cut ties with him. Huh?
The Stetson man.
Yeah, they have Hartman on the team, and they have another rookie after that. I thought that they should have cut ties with Hartman, and I thought that Mariota's time, to me, should probably come to an end. And I like Mariota and some of the stuff that he's done the last couple of years, but he's only 2-4 as a starter when he started for the Commanders, and he doesn't win a lot of football games whenever Jaden Daniels do have an injury and can't play. And I just think that he's an older guy. We don't run the type of offense anymore that that is like to Mariota's skill set anymore. We don't run that type of offense anymore. We have a whole new offensive scheme. It's more, a lot of motion under center, which, one of the reasons why that he complimented Jaden Daniels is because he was able to run that kind of offense, that shotgun type of offense, the quick pass type of offense and stuff that he ran in college. But we're not running that type of offense anymore. And I wish, for goodness sakes, that is Joe Flacco out there? Is Joe Flacco on somebody's team? I mean, I'm being serious. I got to be serious about this because I don't think he's signed yet. I think he's still.
No, he's with the Bengals.
Is he at the Bengals? Did he sign with the Bengals again? Mm-hmm. A backup? Somebody give me Joe Flacco. I would take Joe Flacco at this point over Mariota.
You don't want to touch Garoppolo?
Garoppolo, I probably would take Garoppolo too. Because he can run the type of offense that Brow, our guy now, is going to run, because we're going to run a variation of what the Detroit Lions offense looked like, right? So we're going to run that type of variation, and Garoppolo would fit that too. So yeah.
So Rashad White might be really good for y'all with Krosky Murray, because they don't run the ball. Then if that's the case, they run that Detroit offense. That's what they do. They're
going to run the ball.
Yeah.
Krosky, Murray, and White, I'm looking for big things from them. And again, I think that, we have to at some point figure out, hopefully Mariota's back for game 1 against the Eagles. But I wish that we get a veteran to come in. And I think this is why they haven't got a veteran to come in after they know that he's got the injury, because they know it's not that bad and he's going to be ready for week 1. So I think that's why the Commanders haven't brought a veteran in. But I think that they should just move past Mariota after this year, which is probably his last season anyway. And then, of course, I think we need to get a veteran on the practice squad or something and get him in there, because this is pretty significant. Because Mariota hasn't really done anything with us since he's won some games. He's had some good, decent games, but 2-6 record, it's a problem. 2-4 record, that's a problem. 2-4, 2-6 record, not good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if y'all switch y'all offensive scheme, then if it doesn't fit, because I don't know. I think I like Mariota. I mean, I liked him when he came out from to Tennessee Titans and stuff like that, out of Oregon and everything. So I like his game, but it's kind of like getting old, I guess, because he's not producing like he did in Tennessee and stuff like that. But he's a serviceable backup, when he's not hurt, but We just hope that your starting quarterback Daniels doesn't get hurt.
Yeah. When I think he's good when he's coming in mid game.
Yeah.
But when people have a chance to scheme for him when he's a starter, I think that's when the problem comes. He's throwing that critical interception, man, that critical interception all the time. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to bang him too much. I like him, but I just think that his time is coming to an end in Washington, and I wish that they got a veteran in right now just in case he's not ready. And I think we still need another veteran in there just in case Daniel gets hurt, because Mariota, again, he could get hurt too. I mean, we don't know.
I mean, y'all come get Dylan Gabriel.
You know what?
We can get y'all Dylan Gabriel.
Man. I don't want Dylan Gabriel. Y'all can have him. He's too short, and no, we don't want Dylan Gabriel.
Hey, another Oregon guy. You know.
Nah, man, I don't want him. Y'all keep him. Y'all can keep him. I don't want him at all. I got to bring this game up. This game kind of bothers me a little bit. Matt Ryan's my guy from Boston College. He's president of football operations there in Atlanta, and Boston Guy alum. Always for Boston Guy alum. My brother Cedric played at Boston College as a running back, and I like just the Boston College guys, right? He's my guy. But the first thing that he did was bring in Stefanski to run this team with all of these weapons. He brought in Kevin Stefanski, of all people, to run this team. So let me get this straight. Stefanski gets thrown out of Cleveland, and Matt Ryan brings in Stefanski. And the first order of business is to get Tua from Miami. Of course, Penix is still hurt from his injury of last season. And this is not really a quarterback battle because Tua's on the cheap, because Miami is still paying him a good portion of that $50 million contract that he signed with them. And so they got Tua over there. And the first preseason game, Tua goes 3 of 5, 22 yards passing. His average pass went about 4 yards. And this was the same complaint that I was kind of hearing last year about Stefanski's offense of when he was with Cleveland. So I'll let you go ahead and talk about this. And if this is what, I mean, you got Drake London, you got Bijan Robinson over there, you got weapons over there on offense. And if this is the type of offense we're going to see from Tua, it's not going to be good.
Well, I'm gonna preface this by saying it is the preseason, but you did go against the Broncos defense too.
Yeah.
But we also got the dink and duck game again that we didn't like in Cleveland, like you just said. And Tua is not that kind of quarterback. He can actually throw the ball downfield. So it's like, I don't know. I think they might be just doing the vanilla offense. I'm a
you're trying to give the benefit of the doubt.
Just like I did with the Browns, right? Because they got too much talent it's too much talent on the Atlanta Falcons to allow for this kind of offense to keep being ran from one team to another team. And like, you can't take the Atlanta Falcons into the dumps and expect to stay there, for more than 2 years, to me, in my opinion. If I'm a GM or a president, if I'm the owner of the team, I'm like, I don't want to see what you did in Cleveland come to my Atlanta Falcons when we're on the up with this offense. Like, we got the best running back in the league right now in the backfield. You got receivers galore, tight end that can catch the ball. Get the ball downfield. None of this 4-yard, BS. Like, get the ball downfield. Dump the ball off to the running back if you have to, check down, whatever. But we cannot continue to see this kind of offense in the NFL because the whole every team schemes for it. They know what's coming with Stefanski now.
Right.
Because in New England, the coach said it. In New England, said it. He's like, this is a vanilla offense. You need to change it. Is what he said at the end of the game when they played us last season. Like, we know what's coming. I know what's coming. Like, change it. So I'm gonna get off my stoop because Tua is better than this. I believe Tua is better than this because you saw it in Miami when they had who they had there. So when you had a good coach that can actually coach the offense and like just let him throw the ball, he was pretty good. So go from there. So
Yeah, it's early, but Stefanski looking like where he left off in Cleveland last year. I don't think that he's going to be a good guy for this offense. And I was disappointed that Matt Ryan made this decision for this team. And that was the first order of business that he went out and said, we're going to grab Stefanski right off from Cleveland. We're going to get him. And what another man's trash, could be another man's treasure, but I'm not quite sure in this situation if that's going to be true.
I mean, technically, possibly for the first year, it could show how he can come out and be coach of the year again, like he did with us, because he has a better offensive squad than we had. So I'm not going to say he cannot potentially have a good season from the offensive standpoint, because they got a lot of guys. If they stay healthy and they can get their passing, I'm sure Matt Ryan's going to step in like, hey, dude, we got to throw the ball downfield. We can't be doing this dinky dunk stuff. Like, we need to get some other stuff going on downfield. We got too many receivers that can catch the ball downfield. So, yeah, I never thought I would say this, after he drove us into the ground. But looking at their offense, I mean, they have a good offense. Like, they should not be a bad offense, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, they shouldn't be a bad offense, and we'll see when the season starts if we start to see some of the signs of what he did in Cleveland the last couple of years and doing the same thing in Atlanta. That's not going to fly. It's not going to fly in Atlanta, and we'll see if he's a one and done coach. If it does, we'll see. But Matt Ryan, I'm not quite sure I would have hung my first decision. I'm not quite sure I would have made that one with this coach. Jeremiah Love, running back for the Cardinals, has a high ankle sprain. He had a really good game against the Raiders, and these injuries are crazy. Injuries are crazy. 11 rushes. He had 11 rushes, 58 yards, 5.3 yards a rush. He's out there looking like he's Adrian Peterson. Somebody said Otis Anderson back in the day. Adrian Peterson, just kind of like his burst, his speed, look a bigger back, kind of just like doing some spin moves and all that kind of stuff. That's going to get you hurt in the NFL if you keep spinning around like that, not bracing for what you get on that other side of that spin. But now he's hurt. Ankle sprain, not what you want to hear coming out of camp. Not sure. He might be now. They're trying to get him healthy enough to be ready for the beginning of the season opener. But what did you see? Did you see some highlights of this game against the Raiders of how Jeremiah Love ran the ball?
I see he's very athletic, and I see that he's a little, like, he got a little quick, like, I don't know, I want to say a little Barry Sanders a little bit, because he got that, like, he can the spin moves
and all that. A little bigger though, a little bigger.
Yeah, and he got the Adrian Peterson. I see that because he runs hard and but to keep spinning, just like in basketball, they used to tell me, like, or just tell basketball players, you try and do that spin move in the paint all the time, you can you can mess your knees up doing that. And that's probably why my knees are bad, because I used to do a lot of spin stuff. But yeah, I think he has a shot to be pretty good to get the Cardinals back on the map a little bit. They got some good quarterback play coming in with the quarterback there, the rookie coming out of Miami, Carson Beck and everything. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like the veteran's going to get the spot there, though.
Yeah. I don't think it's a quarterback battle there. I don't think Beck is going to beat out Brissett. They just gave Brissett a lot more money. I think he can make up to $15 million now off of that 5 week. Huh?
Is it a 1 year deal though, right?
No, I think it might be a 1 or 2 year deal. I think it might be a 2 year deal. But Jacoby Brissett is the better quarterback for now, because I think he gives them a better chance to win. And then he didn't have a chance. He had them in a lot of games last year. It's just the defense gave up a lot of points too. And so I think Beck is the future though. Yeah. Beck's I mean, he's got a lot of experience. The guy's old too. I mean, he gets like 25 years old.
24,
So
yeah.
24, 25 years old. So hopefully Brissett gets the nod there. He gives them the best chance to win. And we'll see. I'll get a chance to see them this year too. So we'll see how that works out. But Jeremiah Love is the key for that team to have any success this year, is for him to be there, because I know they got Algier too. Algier is a really good running back too. They got him from Atlanta. He runs hard, man. He runs really, really hard. And he's that ram,
Yeah.
that ram. And Connor is, who knows when he's going to come back. He's still hurt, older guy, right? But you got Algier and Love. That can be a 1-2 knockout punch combination in the backfield for the Cardinals. That is a really bright thing. And also you got Wilson, and then you also got Marvin Harrison out there, and then you got the tight end. And so they got some weapons, man, in offense.
Well, since you touched on your second team, I'm gonna touch on my second team. It's gonna be the Raiders. From the other side, Fernando Mendoza played pretty good in that game. I was surprised. He did pretty solid. That passer rating is pretty legit. Like and he ran the ball. Like, he did some things that I didn't expect him to do. It. I mean, it's still preseason, but Fernando Mendoza actually played pretty solid. And I like his poise and how he was doing everything. And I was like, oh, he looks pretty solid. There are some parts of me was like, I don't know if I think he can probably win this job, but I don't think they'll give it to Kirk Cousins right away too. But
they have the Raiders have no desire to start Mendoza. This is Kirk Cousins' team for now. Yeah. But if Kirk Cousins slip up this season, they're going to definitely put Mendoza in. I hope they don't, but there is this first overall pick. But if Kirk Cousins, he came in and led them down to the first drive, he looked good. Kirk Cousins looked good coming out of the gate. And Kirk Cousins is the type of guy that is a good leader for the team, a good veteran. You have to give him a chance to see what he can do with this team. If they start winning, if they're competitive and they're in a race for the division, which I don't think so, then you keep them going. But as soon as you start losing, at what point do you say, all right, now we're 2-6 or 2-7. It's time for the rookie to come in because he's the future, and now you bench Cousins. I think at that point, you got to bring Mendoza in at some point, at least mid-season.
Yeah, because looking at this roster, I just don't see like anything that pops out to me. You got Ashton Genty is probably the only one, and Mike Washington is okay, but I don't know. Trey Tucker is good, but it's like, I don't know. From a receiver standpoint, it's just like a lot of like solid guys that are looking for a breakthrough, and it's kind of hard to tell, but they have the tight end there, So yeah, we'll see. That's my Vegas. I adopted the Oakland Raiders when I was stationed in Oakland. I used to live there, so that's why the Raiders is my second team. So.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it works out for them.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to see Von Miller. Von Miller signs with the Dallas Cowboys on a 1-year deal. How significant you think this signing is to get Von Miller? Obviously, he played with the Commanders last year, had 9 sacks. 9 sacks at 37 years old. Cowboys got potential.
Well, he's going to come in for rushing plays, obviously. He's only like third down plays, whatever, situational. But he makes you can't. He rushed so well. You can put your other best player on the other side. Like, you can't double either one of them. You got, or like put them on the same side. Like, he's just so good at getting to the quarterback. So it's like, if he's going to only get in for like 20 snaps or whatever it is, like, though he's going to make it, he's probably going to get like eight sacks again, with that defense and how they're making it. The Cowboys defense look really good right now, especially adding him and just bringing him in for situational stuff. I mean, they might be back to the.
Yeah, I think the Commanders had. I think he had 250, a little bit over 250 snaps with the Commanders last year, 9 sacks. He's going to come in. Of course, he's a future Hall of Famer with the sacks and stuff like that. So he's going to come in. He still can play as long as you don't think that he's an every down player. and just bring him in on third downs and that's all you use him for. He's just focused on rushing the quarterback. And then, you got Downs too. So you got Downs now from Ohio State. They said that he looked really, really good. They said that he's a better cover guy. They got him covering CeeDee Lamb in practice, but they thought he was a safety, kind of in the box type of safety. But they said that he's playing a lot more, where he was guarding CeeDee Lamb. So if you can guard CeeDee Lamb, you can pretty much, cover any receiver in the NFL.
Well, that's what I was telling you. That's what I was telling you in the draft. I was like, y'all should have got him. The Commander should have got him. I was like, y'all,
No, Sonny Styles. We're happy with Sonny Styles because he's that linebacker.
You were asking me about him. I'm like, yeah, he's good. You look at his games. He came from Alabama. He was getting coached by Nick Saban. When Nick Saban left, he came to I guess the second best team in his mind, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Yep. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think Caleb Downs is going to be good. He's going to be a good player. I want to see him really cover some of these receivers in the NFL because he's got, we got Diggs, Stephon Diggs, we got Terry McLaurin, we got Burks, we got some guys over there that he's going to have to cover. And remember, the Commanders open up with the Cowboys at Dallas the second game of the year. So we will
smoked.
And you know what? We could get smoked. But if we have a healthy Jaden Daniels, I think we have a chance. I don't think I like the fact that we're flying under the radar. When you got Dak Prescott and everybody talking about a Super Bowl or bust and all this kind of stuff, and you put that bullseye on your back early in the season, and you're the Dallas Cowboys who ain't did nothing in 30 plus years, I like that. I like Dallas coming up.
About y'all too.
Well, we just went to the NFC Championship 2 years ago, so I ain't worried about what you're saying. We got that monkey off our back. Right, we got the monkey off our back. So now the Cowboys is that team that haven't done nothing in 30 years, and now they're talking about Super Bowl. When you start wearing Super Bowl jerseys around training camp, and you Dak Prescott, and you know what, you can try to speak it into existence too. I tried to speak that I was going to win that $1 billion Powerball last week. I tried to speak it into existence. I bought lottery tickets, and guess what? I'm still sitting here on the podcast right here at the same house that I live in and all that stuff. I ain't win the lottery. Some guy in Chicago or in Illinois or something won that damn lottery. So you can speak it into existence all you want. Don't mean it's going to happen. I didn't win the lottery. No, I didn't win the lottery. And Dak Prescott ain't going to win the lottery by putting a Super Bowl shirt on either. And because he's got a tough NFC East. And he's got a tough NFC West schedule to go through this year, just like the Commanders. And so we play all the same teams and we play each other. So I like the fact that Dak is excited about it, but he got to worry about staying healthy because every 2 years or so, something happened. Either a hamstring or ankle or a foot with Dak Prescott. So he has to worry about shaking off that injury bug every couple of years. And he was healthy last year, so they did really well. I think Dak's a top 10 quarterback when he's healthy, to be honest with you. I'm just going to go ahead and say
he is
definitely top 10.
But I'm gonna get this in. I'm gonna talk the Browns into Super Bowl. Browns win the Super Bowl.
It ain't happening.
Browns win the Super Bowl.
Ain't happening. You have a better chance on winning the lottery than the Browns making it to the Super Bowl this year. And if you got any money stashed away in your safe, brother, go and put down $1,000 in the Browns making it to the Super Bowl and winning it all. Because those odds will make you a very rich man, my brother.
Millionaire.
Yeah. So, I don't know what to say, but that's crazy. So I'm looking to see if this guy this week can do anything.
Timing. Perfect
I'm
timing.
trying to see if he can do that. Remember that I'm trying to see if he can do anything this week and see how he progresses this week. But I'm not quite sure, brother, about this, but we'll see. He's got a tough Bills team that he's going to be trying to fight. We'll see what he does. We'll see what he does. But you got anything else before we wrap this up?
No, man. Getting ready for this week 2. Just want to see this Bills game and get this season started. I'm ready for the season. We got drafts coming up, fantasy football drafts coming up. So I'm in one of my leagues. We're trying to go back to back in championships. So I got a 16-team league with my guys that I used to live next to in California, it's a hard league. It's a 16-team league, and it's not easy. So I got to get ready for that too. So, but yeah, just get ready for the season.
All right, man. All right, so this concludes our podcast. This has been the Chasing the Highlights podcast. My name is Lonnie Washington and Tony Robinson. We'll see you guys next week. Good night, everybody.
Come alive, two ex-players in the studio, ready to thrive. Friends and fans, uniting with the truth, sharing the passion, yeah, that's our proof. Chasing the highlights, where dreams come alive. Two ex-players in the studio, ready to thrive. Friends and fans, uniting with the truth, sharing the passion, yeah, that's our proof. We treasure the legends, those who paved our way.